Good day to everybody out there. This is an opportunity today for us to learn a little bit about Seesaw, an interactive student portfolio system that I've been lucky enough to use. And take this time to download the Seesaw app, or if you're on a computer and put this on another screen, go to app.seesaw.me. There's a bunch of different ways we can interact with this platform, so let's get ready to get started. Well, welcome. I'm glad you've taken the opportunity to take a look at this new tool that's been around for about a year and a half, but has been an amazing opportunity for us as teachers to connect with our students in an academic way, but also give us a chance to look at digital portfolios and how we can create meaningful digital portfolios that are very user-friendly and very teacher-friendly at the same time. There's a whole lot of things that we're going to take a look at and have an opportunity to explore in here. So I'm glad you've taken the time, and if you've got any questions, you can find me either on Twitter, kbarikmo, or by email, krbarikmo@bluevalleyk12.org, or if you're in the building, just stop by room 610, and I'll be glad to help you out. I am a Seesaw ambassador, and I've gone through some more training than the average person, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of these things with you. So let's jump in and let's get started. So there's a few goals that we have and a few things that we can look at for the agenda of this exploration. Number one, I want to talk a little bit about what Seesaw is and what Seesaw is not. There are definite limitations, but there are a whole lot of promising possibilities. I want to look at why should I use it, help you answer that question as to how this might change instruction, how this might change assessment, how this allows you to track data on your students and assessment. I want you to see what Seesaw looks like as a student, and hopefully you can follow along alongside as we do this video with your own device. Show you some classroom ideas and examples from my class, talk about class setup and some time-saving tips, digital citizenship, and point you in the direction of some resources that might be able to help answer some questions or answer some questions with some tutorials along the way. So let's dive right in. So what is Seesaw? The beautiful thing about Seesaw is that it is a digital portfolio. In the social studies department, we've been toying with the idea of evidence of learning portfolios for a few years now, and it's always been on paper. This has done amazing things to transform our evidence of learning portfolios, and it all exists in a digital framework. It's not a binder. It's a digital binder that keeps everything, and it keeps more than what we could ever have kept on paper. And everything is organized by students, and you as a teacher have access to the whole class, and students can have access to other students' postings to see, or they can become private. This is a space that the student can actually use to create their own content, and it allows them to reflect and develop these reflection skills on their learning. This is also an option. Typically, you wouldn't see this in a high school setting, but you can also allow parents to have access to what is being published. This is a lot of what our elementary school teachers use in terms of this content. It totally transforms a classroom newsletter in so many ways, because parents can see what their son or daughter is doing in class, and can see that portfolio in real time, and it allows us to communicate in meaningful ways back home quite seamlessly. That is something you can disable or create within Seesaw, and I can always help you out and show you how to do that if you want to make that live and give this access to the at-home community, to what's happening in their student's account. The beautiful thing about Seesaw is it's not a blog that can be accessible by everybody. It's not a website that's out there for everybody to see. Everything exists behind a secure username and password. And the nice thing about that is it's not published online If a student makes a video and publishes this on their portfolio, it's only the student that sees that, and the teacher or a parent, if they have access in the app. It's not out on the web for anybody to search and find. That, to me, is a wonderful piece that this digital portfolio offers. It gives them an opportunity to organize their work behind a secure username and password. There was a session that I conducted, and I asked people to share one of the words that describes Seesaw at the end of the session, and these were the words that they came up with. And I wanted to point out that some of the words that we use a lot in our work: collaborative, empowering, connected, unlimited, comprehensive, wonderful, journaling capabilities. These are some key words that are very important when we look at Seesaw as a tool itself. And it gives us an opportunity to see that it really is easy. The most commonly cited term by teachers in this session was that it was easy. And so I hope you find that it to be an easy tool for you to implement as well. Teachers love Seesaw because, number one, and first and foremost, it empowers students to create and document the learning as it happens. You can see the learning right away. You can give feedback to the learning right away, and it notifies the student that that feedback is ready to go. And they can log in and they can see it, and they can get instant feedback or very, very quick feedback after you've reviewed their information. One of the things that I love about it is it allows students to develop writing skills, reflection skills, critical thinking skills, presentation skills. We've all had students that dread getting up in front of a group and giving a presentation. Well, the nice thing is they don't have to get up in front of a group necessarily. They just have to record their presentation on a webcam and post that as a video. And it allows us to differentiate our instruction and our presentations and our content and how they can show mastery of that content. And most importantly for our digital citizenship piece is that it develops those 21st century skills in a safe and moderated environment. And this isn't just for elementary school students. We need to develop these skills in a safe and moderated environment for our high school students. And it's a powerful platform to help us do that in this process. They also say, teachers say that it creates a strong community around learning by involving families when they do involve families. I also think it creates a strong community around learning when it involves their peers. They can create projects and they can post projects and they can tag all of the students that worked on that project, and it goes into everybody's feed and it goes into everybody's portfolio that is tagged. It organizes and it shares those creations within the classroom, and frankly it saves time on assessments. It empowers teachers beyond measure for parent-teacher conferences. And if you send newsletters home, it revolutionizes the newsletters that you send home. So let's take a look at how it works, and let's look at how this platform looks. Thanks for following along. So here's what we're going to do. This is an opportunity, since you're watching this on a computer, you can actually experience Seesaw as a student as well. So let's take a look at how we do this. The best way, since you're on a computer, is to go to app.seesaw.me, or if you have a mobile device and you've already downloaded the app, you can walk through this process on the app. And you're going to have to create an account, you're going to have to join a class that I've created, and you're going to be a part of the class as a student. We call this Digital Portfolios 101. That's the class that you're going to join. So let's see what we can create. Okay, before we experience this as a student, I want you to get access to our Digital Portfolios 101 simulated class. So all you need to do is scan that QR code. This is probably only going to work if you have the mobile device. So if you have a mobile device or you have a QR code reader on your laptop, you might open that up. Or the best way to experience this as a student, as most of our students will, is on their mobile device. So feel free to scan this and let's experience this class Digital Portfolios 101. This will get you logged in to create an account. There are various different views depending on your device. If you take a look at the login on the left, that's what it's going to look like if it's an iPad, an Android, or a Kindle and they have the app. If you're using a Chromebook or the web and they're going to app.seesaw.me, they're going to look at the one on the right and you can see what that login screen looks like. They're a little bit different, but it's something that it's important that we make that distinction. Obviously, they're going to select I'm a student to log in. You're going to select I'm a teacher, and that's how we get started with the login. If this is a handheld device, an iPad, an Android, or a Kindle, and you choose to use a QR code reader to have them log in, when they select that, there is a built-in QR code reader that accesses the camera, and they can log in just simply by using the QR code there. Or you can give them a little sheet as a handout, and they can scan the QR code or put in the class code, which is temporary. The class code is only good for 15 minutes. And so you all have to do it at the same time or have to keep creating class codes. But the QR code is to create the account. Make sure you keep that secret. Don't hand it out and give it to everybody, because anybody with the QR code can log in and join your class. And it can wreak havoc if it's just out there in the hallway and people are joining your classes and they're not in your classes. So to scan the QR code, we suggest that you print it out, put it as a poster in your room, and then that's how they would create the account. This is a pretty simple and easy way. I typically don't use QR codes. I usually use the temporary text code for them to join, because we're all joining at the same time. As you can see, this is how a student is using a mobile device to scan the QR code or the poster in the classroom. It's a little stand up and scan, log in, or they can scan through the Chromebook or web, or like I said, type the class code. It's very, very user-friendly in terms of the login process and creating accounts with your students. The thing that I will mention is that students can use any email to do this. Our district email will work. It acts as a Google sign-in. The problem, though, is if they also have a personal Gmail account, if they're still logged in with their Gmail account in some browsers, and then they're trying to log in to Seesaw with their district credentials, it might say, we don't recognize you. So ask the students to use the email that they use the most. Or probably the best option, require them to use the school email so everything is contained within that. They're just going to have to know they're going to have to log out of all of their Gmail accounts that are in the background already running or in the cache before they can log into Seesaw with their school email. This creates confusion, but I can help you through that if you run into that. Now, once you're actually in the class, you can actually begin creating the content and begin creating entries. So I want to just show you what that screen looks like. And there's a whole bunch of things on here that I want to point out. There are 6 different ways that you can have students submit content. You can have them submit a photo. They can submit a video that they create in Seesaw, or they've uploaded from some other source, Dropbox or some other OneDrive or Google Drive or any app that they've used, or their photo roll. They can create a drawing if this is on an iPad or an iPhone. Obviously, you can't create drawings on non-touch screen devices. They can upload directly from a camera roll or a photo and a file. I use this one a lot. They can create a note. This is where they would just simply enter text traditional ways through keyboarding. They can also insert a link to a website. And whatever they do, they can then add these things on the bottom. They can rotate the image. They can record their voice over something, so they can annotate it with an audio file. They can draw on it. Again, if it's a touch screen, it works best. Or they can add a caption. So if they put a photo and they want to add some sort of analysis of that, or a picture or a piece of art, they can do that by adding the photo and then adding captions, or they can record their voice and do an audio caption, if you will. So those are some of the points of entry once you create your account to start creating our digital portfolio and our submissions for each part of that. We're going to take a look at how this shows up and what this looks like in terms of creating them. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create our first entry. You can see here you have a photo, a video, a drawing, upload a file, type a note, or a link. These are your 6 options, and you're seeing this on a desktop computer, so this is what that looks like. So let's create a photo. If we create a photo, you're probably going to have to share the selected device, so activate your webcam. And so then that's going to, oh, look, there it is. I'm talking to you by photo. So let's take a photo. There you go. And I didn't like that, so let's retake the photo. There, it looks much better. Now, to approve the submission, just click the check mark. And here's where now you can rotate the photo, manipulate the image. You can record audio feedback over that. You can add a drawing over top of that here. You know, if we make this into red clown nose and crazy blue hair. I mean, you can do all kinds of things on this. Students can annotate this. It works great on a touchscreen, but you can see that I am doing this on a desktop version. And so we can approve those annotations, and if we wanted to, we could add a caption. This is my clown costume. And now we've added that caption, and you can see that is added directly to the photo. So now I'm a student. I've created this content. I click OK, and it uploads the item, and now gives you an option to do some more. Okay, it's your turn. So let's take a photo. Let's see who's learning about Digital Portfolios 101. You've joined our class, and you're in Seesaw. So take a photo, take a selfie, show us a picture of your view and what you're looking at, and let's get to know each other a little bit to see who's learning about this. Once you've taken your photo and you see it there, tap the text tool, and on that text tool, I want you to type your name, content area, any additional information that you want to share, and then once you're done with that part, click the green check mark and get ready to submit that. You can preview your work at this point, and you can annotate it in any other way by adding an audio or a drawing on top of it, and when you're done, click that green check mark again. And now your item is added to our feed. It's not going to show pictures of daffodils, although they're pretty, but you'll see the other content that's being added. I will point out that I have set this class account up so that you can see other student submissions. You can see what they've added, and I've changed that in the little tool, the settings box. But the other thing that you'll see is that it will automatically go to your feed. The difference is sometimes you can require teacher approval or just automatically goes to the feed. I've changed it so you don't have to get approval, but in my classes I require all of those things to get approved by me before they go onto the feed. And my classes, they can only see their own work. But for purposes of this, you can see everybody's work and it automatically goes to the feed. Let's add some more things. All right, so we've created one entry. We've created a photo entry, but I want to show you some other classroom examples from other ambassadors that use these in their classes. And you can see the spectrum from kindergarten through 12th grade and how these tools are being used and what you can do and maybe get some inspiration for ways that you can use this in your class. I want to point out that we're limited in our district, of course. We're not one-to-one. Not every student has a device that's capable of this and on a consistent basis, and we don't all have access to these computer resources every day. So my suggestion, and I'm in the same boat as you, my suggestion is maybe you spend one day a week doing the Seesaw piece in your class, or you have them do this on their own during Tiger Paws and go to a computer lab and do the postings, and that at the last 25 minutes or last 30 minutes of class on Friday or on Monday or whenever you choose, they make sure that all their submissions have been updated. If you've got 2 or 3 for that week and they've already done those at home on their own, great. This is time for them to work on other things or to work with them as an individual on test corrections or missing assignments or whatever. But if they've done all their work up until this point, they're caught up. In our non-one-to-one device environment, we just have to make some adaptations. There's a lot of different ways we can innovate, and that's how I've done it in my classes before. So let's take a look at some of these classroom examples. The elementary schools that use this are doing some amazing things, right? They can film their science experiment, and they can annotate and offer reflections. They can explain a math concept by annotating and talking about place value and counting and whatever it is that those teachers can make adaptations with. They can use it in a writer's workshop. They can use it as assessment checks. You can see here the weak sight words in that class, and taking a look at those and annotating those as assessment checks are some pretty powerful tools. You can bring this into a project-based learning environment, Makerspace or Genius Hour, or what I've seen done is students are given a sheet of paper, a worksheet, or it's on the board, and they take a picture of what it is, and then they're annotating it. In my economics class, for example, we don't pass out worksheets. They've got an image on the board, they take a picture of it, they annotate it, or they download the image from the internet, and they draw their supply and demand curves, and they draw the shifting of supply and demand, and they can tell me and show me what they're working on, and I don't ever have to collect a piece of paper, and I can see the movement, I can see them and them talking about it, and I can see them reflecting on it. You can app smash. One of the most powerful features of this is the app smashing capability. You can create a Padlet and then import that link into Seesaw. You can create a video with another app and save it to the camera roll and then upload it directly to Seesaw. There's, if you're doing green screen work, they can film it, in green screen software, edit it and add the backgrounds and then upload it to Seesaw, and now everything is put together. It revolutionizes the way that we can do education and the way that we can equip them with 21st century skills and critical thinking and reflection capabilities. Students have used this for journal writing. Teachers have used this for, all kinds of different things. Historical character projects or reflections. All of these things are hyperlinked, and I will send out this PowerPoint to you, and you can click through those hyperlinks and you can see these as examples. Okay, so here's how my students might use this in an economics class. I've taken a picture of my production possibilities frontier. We're talking about opportunity costs in economics. So I'm going to ask them to describe constant opportunity cost, increasing opportunity cost, and decreasing opportunity cost. It might look like this. So they're drawing the constant opportunity cost curve. And what does the constant opportunity cost curve look like? Looks like that. We can change the sizes of our drawing tools. What does increasing opportunity cost curve look like? It looks like that. And what does a decreasing opportunity cost curve look like? It looks like that. Maybe this is review for you and you remember back to your economics class, but now I can see that they've annotated that and I can see that they've drawn that on there. We can check it. Now I can also add audio. I'm going to add audio while I'm recording, so I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll test it. We'll see if it works in the feed. The constant opportunity cost curve is a consistent slope, and so it's a straight line when we look at it, showing constant opportunity cost. The rate of change between each point is exactly the same. An increasing opportunity cost curve shows us that as we move further and further down in quantity of one product, we give up more and more and more of the other product. That's increasing opportunity cost. And decreasing opportunity cost, which is concave, is as we give up more and more of one, we gain more and more of the other. Our decreasing opportunity cost is shown by that graph there on the right. So you can see I've recorded that. It's now processing it, and this is going to show you kind of what the upload process looks like. They can preview this. the constant opportunity cost curve. Now they see that it works. They see that their image has been annotated. We submit it. They can make any other changes that they want, and then you submit it to the class feed. It uploads, and now everybody can see it in the class feed here. Okay, now it's your turn. I want you to use the video tool, and I want you to add an entry to our Digital Portfolios 101 class, and I want you to answer this question. If you were to have dinner with anyone living or dead, who would you have dinner with and why? Record that entry as a video, and let's learn a little bit about each other. When you record, as an example, you can record a partner reading a book aloud and then swap and read that. We see that in elementary schools all the time. I just had students do a video response to this question. How have the ideals of the Declaration of Independence inspired other global revolutions or global social change? And they had to record a 2-minute video where they answered that question now that we've studied the Declaration of Independence. And there's all the other ways you can annotate that, as we've seen. So why don't you get to work, answer that question, submit that video, pause me so you can do that, and then we'll pick up with a couple of final bits of information. Wow, great job. We did it. We've added a couple of things now, and we've seen what the interface looks like from the student point of view. And this is how they're going to add their information to the journals that you create or that you help them create. And this is an opportunity for us to really, again, meet students where they are in terms of digital content creation. Students can use this as a collaborative tool. Students can use this to show their evidence of learning and reflect on their learning. There are so many tools. I look forward to working with you in other sessions, but there's some tips and tricks that I want to point out as we begin to create this and play around with this ourselves. Seesaw has put together a wonderful set of tutorials on their website, and I will again send the PowerPoint to you with that link that's active. But there are videos on how to set up a class code for students to use to log in. Again, I use a 4-digit letter code that is only active for 15 minutes. It prevents students from giving that code out and having random people join the class and post nefarious things in the class. There's also a way to set up an email class, a tutorial. So we encourage you to use those tutorials that Seesaw has made available to all of us in creating those classes. I want to give you some time-saving tips. You know, if you send newsletters home about what's happening in your classes, if you use the note tool, you can write a note and then tag everybody, and it goes home to parents. You can also use this for your class. If you've got learning targets for the week, you can create a note and you can tag everybody in the class with those. There are so many powerful ways that you can distribute information to students and also return information to students in evaluations. There's some amazing stuff that can be done if you use a rubric for a group presentation. You write out the rubric, you take a picture of that rubric, you tag those students in it, and it immediately goes to their profile and immediately goes to their feed. There's other ways that you can use these tools, and the options are endless. So we look forward to collaborating and creating these opportunities for you to use this tool and for everybody to learn from how you've used it. There's another feature. You can use folders and to manage and save your work. There's a video on how to use folders. Students can put their material into their folders. So if you have unit folders, they can organize all of their material for Unit 1. They can use Quarter 1, Quarter 2, sets it up for easy reflection and those pieces that go along with that. Folders are a powerful tool for teachers as well as students in this platform. One of the things that I think works so well is the ability to app smash. Now, this works even better in a one-to-one environment or when you have access to iPads, like through the DLC in the library. But if we use any of these apps that save those pieces to our camera roll or to Dropbox or OneDrive or Google Drive or wherever it is, we can now take that content and upload it. And again, the app smashing and content creation capabilities are absolutely amazing with Seesaw. There's also additional resources that are available on Seesaw. There's a Seesaw Student Challenge, which is great for K through 12. They've adapted it for each of those levels. Seesaw also offers some significant professional development called PD in your PJs, and it's online and it's available anytime. And it gives you an opportunity to listen and see other teachers and how they've put things together in Seesaw, ideas that they've used. Seesaw tutorial videos, you can watch the recordings, and you can learn whenever, wherever you have access to the internet. These are some pretty powerful tutorials, and we encourage all of the teachers to go learn something. Go learn something new about this digital portfolio. There is also a brand new feature, and this is a paid feature. The Seesaw app will always and forever remain free for the basic functionality, but there is Seesaw Plus, and to be honest with you, that's an amazing tool that's added as another layer in Seesaw. Seesaw Plus gives us an opportunity to track skills. It gives us an opportunity to use it as an assessment tool, and it revolutionizes parent-teacher conferences, and it revolutionizes work with individual students to show progress, and it revolutionizes reflection. And you can scan this QR code and get a free extra month's service on Seesaw Plus. I think you get 60 days for free. Anybody can register for 60 days, but if you scan my QR code that you see here, you get a free month beyond that. So you can have Seesaw Plus for 3 months, and it gives you an opportunity to try out this powerful tool. I'm going to create another tutorial just for Seesaw Plus with other tips and tricks that I'll email out to everybody, but this gives you a chance to take a look at it. So here are some student examples that exist on Seesaw's website. We encourage you to take a look at these. There are things that you can browse later and see some ideas for inspiration. For example, there's different ways that teachers use this in English classrooms, using emoji vocabulary or writing portfolio, or creating this as a tool for speeches. In history classes, character and historical figure chatter vids, which is another app smashing thing. There's so many opportunities to use this for middle and high school, and these options are out there, and we encourage you to take a look at those. Well, that gets you started on this wonderful app. Seesaw for teachers will revolutionize the classroom, and students are already talking about it in our classes and how revolutionary it is. These are ways that you can connect with other teachers, like myself, using Twitter. Follow Seesaw, at Seesaw on Twitter. There's Seesaw Teachers Group on Facebook. Go to help.seesaw.me for any resources that Seesaw has put together. Contact me, get in touch with me. There's a Seesaw chat that happens every week online on Twitter. There are so many ways to get connected to teachers that are using this, and I look forward to helping you out in your classroom as we revolutionize the way students submit work, reflect on work, and learn in our classrooms. Let's go out and get them.